Unique Noise presents Who Are You?, where we interview you and get to know you on a deeper level with your hosts, Joel and
Sam.
This time around, we're going to be talking about death and the afterlife.
Ooh.
That's what I said.
We're spooky ghosts.
Yep. We come to you from way in the past.
Beyond the grave. Oh my god. Can you imagine if we both died before this episode came out, but it was scheduled to come out, and then it does come out, and we are actually dead?
Ooh.
And in the afterlife while people are listening to this?
Nice.
That would be so crazy.
It'd be insane. But yeah, we talk about that and other stuff as well, since we will be talking about that. Here's a quote we found by this person named Stefan Christopher Dennis.
3 first names.
Yeah. And you already know what they say about people with 2 first names.
Kill them.
Before they kill you. His quote goes, "Death is not the end. It is simply walking out of the physical form and into the spirit realm, which is our true home." It is a longer quote, but we're going to end it there. And we'll see you on the other side. Hello, sir. Hi, Sam. How are you?
Hi, Joel. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Got a good, nice bike ride here. So, actually very interesting, because this is the first time I rode and there was a good amount of traffic on the way here that I was just passing by. So not me stuck in traffic, but I was passing traffic.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, let's get this started with a hobby, passion, interest, etc., etc. Fun fact.
I think this segment's sort of morphing into catch-up time.
Yeah.
Like,
we can do that too.
the fun, because I feel like the fun facts are like, oh, I did this recently, and it's kind of a update fun fact thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
I was re-listening to you and I talk about our favorite television shows.
Okay.
Recently, because I think that was in episode 1, which
yes,
which is live
So.
now. Whoa. And one of the things that I was talking about of why I like the shows that I like is they have rules, but then they abandon them constantly, which is kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah. We're
like, this section is for this. Nah, fuck it. We're just going to talk about something else. Now it's changed.
Yeah. We're evolving.
We are. We're growing. It's growth. So, long-winded way to say my fun fact / update. I just spent the weekend out in Irvine.
Ooh.
With a lovely lady. We had a great time. It was nice. Nice little hotel. Had a little kitchen in it, which we didn't use. We had a nice little dinner at a place called Rogers Garden out there. I think that's actually in Newport, but it was very close.
Okay.
That place is great. Shout out. That place is great. We had a very good waiter, which I appreciate so much. Like a good waiter or server or whatever they're being categorized as nowadays. Executive food
Delivery.
Presenter, yeah, or deliverer. Whatever. He was great. He was just on it. It was very nice. Oh, here's the fun fact part. I don't think I've ever ordered a fish entree at a restaurant before.
Okay.
But they had, I think it was cod. I actually don't remember what it was. I know it was fish, but it had a bunch of little goodies and stuff on it. I think there was pineapple salsa in it.
Oh,
which
okay.
is what sold me immediately. I was like, you're gonna give like put pineapple on it, and I will probably order it. I'm that guy, and I've hung my head in shame for those that want that, I guess. What about you, sir? What's your fun fact, hobby, interest, or passion, or update that's not pertaining to our growth section?
Well, my fun fact is I enjoy getting lost. And more so physically lost. So out in areas where I don't know. So like when I travel, I enjoy just walking around, not knowing where I'm going. When I head out to locations, kind of just don't want to plan anything at some points and just wing it. So I like being spontaneous.
You're an explorer.
Yeah.
We should go on a trip, I think. I think we'd have a good time.
Sure.
Because I make plans for it, and then I abandon all the plans, like even this last weekend.
One of the things I've always wanted to do, at least trip-wise, was if or when I go to Japan, part of the trip would be at least a couple days just heading out to like the base of like Mount Fuji and one of the areas surrounding it, and just camp out, explore the area, and find out what there is around there.
Do you mean literally camping out?
Yeah.
Okay, like
Yeah.
in a tent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did not know you could do that.
Yeah, there's certain areas that you can camp out on the base.
No, I meant I didn't know you.
Oh, like
could,
me,
you
myself.
literally could.
No, yeah.
No, I did not know that you could camp at the base of Mount Fuji. That sounds nice.
That is a fun fact about me.
I'm gonna start giving you bad directions then. Hey, meet me at this place, and I'll be somewhere else. And like intentionally make you get lost. Although I'm sure that would be more annoying.
Kinda. Depends if you at least give me a generalized area other than meet me here.
Yeah.
It's like meet us at this city, and then from there just try and find you.
I'm somewhere between. I'm somewhere at these cross streets, and there's like 50 places.
Don't even give me cross streets. Just give me. I see this tree.
Send you pictures of what I can see. Man, I've been so anxious all day.
Why is that?
It's April Fool's Day.
And no one's fooled you?
No, and it like what we were just talking about made me think about it, because I'm like, oh, I tell you I'm going to be here and then just show up somewhere else or be somewhere else. It's like, oh, April Fool's, and it's like, that's not funny. That's not funny to me, where I'm like, no, you said you're going to be here and you're not here. No. Or
I'm leaving.
Yeah. Or I was thinking about that when I was looking up where I was going to order food from today.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just in my head, I played out this scenario where the delivery person comes up and they're like, oh, there's an issue with your food. And then they're like, oh, April Fools. And I'm like, don't fucking joke about food when you're handing it to somebody. I'm like, that's not funny. Don't fuck with my stuff. But yeah, no. So my anxiety level's a little higher than I'd like for it to be today.
Okay, good thing I didn't April Fool's you into saying that I wasn't going to come.
No, if you said that, I would we just wouldn't have recorded today, and I would have been like, that's fine. We'll do Thursday or next week. Mm-hmm. I noticed it a lot on my drive, or the drives to and from work this morning, where I felt a little like kind of shaky almost.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't like swerving all around or anything, but I was just like, I want to go home. Or I want to get to where I'm going to. So yeah, another fun fact. Don't fuck with me on April 1st. It's not cool.
especially with food.
Yeah, I'm not going to have a good time. Like, if you're looking to have, like, some laughing games and stuff, like, find somebody else, please. Please.
Duly noted.
Appreciate it.
All right, sir. You shared a bit of trauma, but do you have a progress report?
Yeah, apparently that's linked to something. I do have a progress report on my DVD training. I'm, again, just real quick, dialectical behavior therapy. So this last week, I've been working on radical acceptance. And it's totally tubular, bro. It's so radical.
Awesome.
All that really means is it's acceptance. Something doesn't go the way that I wanted it to, or the way that I thought it was going to go, or I get a reaction from somebody that I wasn't expecting, or, oh, here's a good one, actually, and this has to do with you and myself. So I've texted you a few times, and I've seen that you've read them, because you have read receipts on. But instead of getting, I guess, in my head about, like, how come Joel's not texting me back? Instead of doing that, it's just...
Want me to send just, okay?
No, but it's just like recognizing that you have your own life and you've got other shit going on. You do not owe me a response.
That's why I have the read receipt on.
Yeah. Especially when what I'm sending you are just updates. There's statements. Mm-hmm. You know, there's not really a conversation there. But that was something that I've struggled with in the past, where if I'm not getting a specific response, or even if I don't get a matched response from you or from anybody, that used to be an issue for me. Mm. Where I would send, let's say, an emoji smiley face, and you don't send an emoji smiley face back to me, that means you hate me. Or that means you're not happy. Or that means you don't want to talk to me. I'm like, oh, they're so rude. They put a period at the end of their text message. I'm like, ugh. So I've been shedding all that shit off of my shoulders lately.
Nice. So I was part of your exercise.
Yeah, on accident. But I think because I'm doing that with everything, it's been really helpful. I'm actually really enjoying this whole little section of therapy that I've been doing, because it's working. I'm seeing things better just around me. And I feel lighter. Like, I feel less stressed, like, overall, mm-hmm. which is great, because I don't like to be stressed, and I'm constantly stressed out. And that's my growth for this week. Why don't you tell me about your donut?
It's taken a color.
Oh, yeah?
And I now have a countertop.
Nice.
Or at least the surface of a countertop.
Okay.
Not an actual one. Just a nice square that this donut now sits on top. That's now textured. Well, the square is textured like marble. Mm-hmm. So that was very easy to do, but it's only because he made a tool for it. So there's an application add-on that you add to Blender, and you can just select the textures you want. Mm. And once you select it and add it to it, it's there. But he did explain how it's done, and it's almost coding, like, because you have the base texture, and then you'll align it. I don't know if you've seen coding programs where you have, like, squares, and then you have the line that goes to the next square to have the programming start doing something. Like, if it does this, go here. If it does that, go do this.
I'm pretty sure I have, yeah.
It's kind of formatted that way, where you have your base, and then you have your base color, your texture, your roughness, and all that stuff, and you connect it to other things. So it kind of says, okay, this is your base, but now your roughness, you want this texture on it, so you have the scale for that, like how much do you want, how little do you want, stuff like that. So if you just have it the normal texture base, it just looks like marble and it's all flat. To make it more realistic, he ended up not coating, but like adding all that stuff to where now the roughness, it makes bumps.
Okay.
So now you have some bumps on the marble to make it look just a little bit more real, and then as well as a little bit of dissipating for the light, because when the light first shines on it, it's very like shiny. Mm-hmm. So it adds some dullness to it, so it looks like it's absorbing some of the light, and some of the light's being scattered. So that was a bit interesting to learn. The other part, the donut ended up getting colored as well.
What color?
Brownish color, but the icing was kind of like a light purple. When I saw it, it kind of reminded me of like the Simpsons donut. But I think the Simpsons used like pink frosting maybe. But it was kind of like that. There is, once we colored the donut, the base of the donut, he ended up going into detail on like, oh, donuts, since they're fried and you have to flip them, the middle piece is lighter. So at first we changed the color, but because that color wasn't an actual texture, we had to make it a texture. So we deleted that color, made it a texture. That texture became the base of it. So now we were able to color that section. And that was also fun. It was the painting. I'm assuming there's going to be and I don't know, I can find, but the painting that Blender has is very basic. So almost like MS Paint-ish. So hopefully I can find an add-on that at least lets me use other like tools for paint. Either I don't know if I would be coloring stuff in most of the time, because like I said, a lot of it's going to be hopefully for like D&D models. So the base like silver grayish for 3D printing, and then just paint them by hand.
Yeah, after they're printed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't really need it, but if I want to make like any images or anything like that on Blender as well, then that would be nice to have on there.
Did we talk about the movie Stray?
I don't think we did, no.
That was all made on Blender. It won an Oscar.
Oh.
Like this past year. Like
one thing I also found out is the Everywhere Somewhere All at Once, or what's that movie called? Something Somewhere Everywhere?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay, yeah. That movie has a donut made in Blender.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
But yeah, that is my progress.
Are you having fun with it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, when I find time for it, because it's getting hard now to be creative and then be consuming. So now I have to give up some consuming to be creative, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to give up.
I had the same struggle. Makes it sound worse, but I was consuming a lot before we started doing this show and the editing process, and I'm working on an album that I keep telling everybody about. So it's just scheduling time for it. So now I have days off, right? Where I'm just in the room catching up on everything. So I'll spend like hours watching shit. You gotta make yourself a schedule, man. Like, yeah. And now you got a job on top of that too. So it's just, you got to make a schedule, and then you just catch up on shit when you catch up on shit.
Right. Oh yeah, that's the conundrum at the moment.
Well, it's being an adult. You and I don't have kids, so it's
Yeah.
we have the luxury of like, well, I'm used to doing whatever I want all the time. So then you have to be your own boss, which is not always fun.
Nope.
But as long as you're doing things that you enjoy, then and you're like, oh, I guess I'll just be a creator instead of a consumer.
Yeah.
And I'll consume when I consume.
Yeah.
Cool.
I will miss consuming, though.
You'll always consume. It's just...
I am consuming less.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, speaking of consuming, I digested a time machine. But we have another one if you want to try it out.
You said you digested a time machine, and you said but right after it.
Yeah.
Gross. I don't want to use that one.
Fine.
It's got butt all over it.
So, sir, we got time travel now. Where dost thou go?
First of all, that's bloody sick that we have a time machine. Like, that's awesome. Secondly, I want to see Buddha, the original. I want to see the origin story of the life of Buddha and Buddhism, the beginning, because I think if I recall correctly, it's either the oldest or one of the oldest religions out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very curious to see how that all went down.
If he looks like the statue.
I would hope so. I'd hate somebody to make a statue of me that's completely inaccurate. But the belly's cute, I guess. Touch it. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I would want to see. I want to see... Because, again, being one of, if not the oldest religion in history, everything else is kind of derived from that in some way, shape, or form. So I'd be very curious to see, oh, that's just like what they do over here, and da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see that. And the man who inspired the whole thing, I think, would be very interesting. We'll have dinner.
Nice.
Well, like, I'll eat while he's eating, because our time machine is like a bubble, and we don't get out and interact with people. But yeah, I'll watch him eat and eat across from him, and be like, "Hey," and then he's gonna look right at me. And I'm like, "Oh fuck."
It's like, who said that?
What about you, sir? Where are you gonna time travel to?
I would like to visit actually a few areas. Well, yeah, it'd be bouncing around between different times.
Hey. Save those for other weeks. What are you doing?
But it's the same thing.
Okay. Continue.
It's each region's time when they first created pasta.
Okay. I'm gonna have you expand on that a little bit.
So, it was a while back, actually. Ended up watching a video explaining it. How pasta seems to be everywhere. In different kinds. Because there's the rice-based pasta, and then there's...
Yeah, everybody uses what's available.
Yeah, what's available. So, how did one region make noodles one way and another region made noodles the other way, and they all decided, hey, it's a noodle, long, stringy, soak it in water, you cook it, and you eat it. How did all these people from different areas come up with that idea? So the video actually goes through a lot of it, but I actually want to see it in person. Like, all right, where was the beginning of pasta, and then if it spread, how did it spread? And if it was one origin here and one origin over here. How many origins were there? Or how many were it originated from here and then it spread and changed as it was spreading because of the recipes and stuff, or like rice was more predominant in like Asia as opposed to like Europe, where Europe was using more flour based. So I want to see that progress.
We're getting better at this question. Gotta keep people on their toes.
Yeah, because I said watch the video with a few friends, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Nice. I'm honored that you would share that, or that you were thinking about the podcast in any way while you were watching something else off the air. That's great, because it's consuming my life now.
Great.
We're doing some work here. It's good though.
I mean, we're just talking.
We laugh a lot though. I'm happy about that.
Well, good. All right, sir. It's time to look into Me Bowl. This topic, y'all, is death/afterlife.
Oh my goodness.
This honestly would have been a good one to pull when I talked about going to the future.
I'm not gonna lie. I think it might have been inspired by that.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like knees or neck deep in editing when I threw some extra categories in there.
Oh, okay.
And I think I liked that idea, so I put it on there. So.
Got it. So it would never have been pulled during that time because it was created from that time.
Yeah. we're recycling ourselves into the show.
That's amazing.
So, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk? What do you think the afterlife's like? Just a bunch of white fluffy clouds, and there's a bunch of angels flying around with harps and stuff, and everybody's wearing skirts.
I hope it's like that.
Not skirts, dresses.
Yeah, I think it's dresses, togas.
Yeah, they're robes, whatever you want to call it. They're dresses.
Yeah,
that's fine. We'll wear dresses if we need to.
Have you heard of the people that get together that all had near-death experiences? Or were dead for a bit and then were resuscitated? I have no knowledge of that. Yeah, so and I looked this up a long time ago, so I have since forgotten it, so I'm remembering bits and pieces of it.
That's great.
So there's a group that formed that all share similar experiences when they have died, where I believe they feel like they become like light, or it's like a travel kind of feeling, where they're traveling like light or something like that, or where they see differently, but it's not all pitch black from what it seems like. There's a lot of sensory stuff going on.
Do they all go to the same place eventually?
That's what I don't remember. I do remember a lot of them having like similar experiences, but I don't know if they have exactly the same destination per se.
Which would make sense if there is a destination and you're experiencing a near death or almost dying, you probably don't get there.
Right.
Without actually dying. That would be my theory for something like that. Do you know what DMT is?
No.
Okay. This is great. No, this is a great conversation because you have something, I have something to share, and we're just going to talk about it. Because it's all the same shit. So DMT is a drug, and it can be made like by hand or machine or whatever, beakers. I don't know how they fucking make drugs. But DMT, or the chemical compound of DMT, exists in all living things. Trees, animals, well, plants, animals, humans.
Right.
We all have the ability to create this compound. And the theory is when you die, your brain's flooded with the compound or with this drug, or this. I don't know if you can call it a drug if it's something natural that happens within your being, but whatever. People know DMT as a drug. So I have never taken this, but I have talked to several people who have, and I've heard lots of stories about it. There's a great documentary about it as well. Mm-hmm. So the theory is your brain gets flooded with it when you die, and that's the afterlife. And everyone who takes it has a very similar experience, which involves some travel, some sort of cerebral travel, and then eventually they all get to, I think, the same exact place, or they all see the same exact place at some point in time during this trip. And I can't remember how long the actual trip lasts. I always kind of wanted to do it. It sounded cool, but I don't trust anybody who's making stuff.
Oh, okay.
Where I'm like, I don't trust somebody who's like, oh, well, I have like pure DMT. I'm like, this feels like a, what was that? The fentanyl shit.
Oh, yeah, like, that's what I was going to bring up too.
Yeah, I'm like I don't trust anyone well enough to be like, oh, yeah, no, you got the legit stuff. But I've always been curious, or very curious about it, because it sounds cool and sounds interesting. And I've talked to a few people who have actually taken it, and they've had a very different outlook on things afterwards. Like it changed them.
Okay.
In a noticeable way. Mm-hmm. Not in a bad way, but like I think they were just kind of thinking about stuff differently. So so that I think they're sort of combined in that way, or at least that's my belief. And I guess having a belief like that makes me feel less, I guess, scared about death. Mm-hmm. Or scared about dying, because I'm like, well, my brain's going to get flooded with this drug and I'm just going to have a trip of a lifetime, and then, yeah.
And then we'll get to that destination and know what it is.
Yeah. Maybe meet up with a bunch of old people from my life, and I don't know. Like, maybe that's where people get the ideology of heaven, where people have near-death experiences where their brains are not flooded, but they're starting to fill up with DMT, and then they get pulled out because somebody resuscitated them, or they just didn't die,
Yeah. That could be it. Their angel visits.
Yeah. It's a mix of the science and religion kind of thing, where it's like, well, religion is built off of something, and then here's this science information. It is, you should look it up. It's a good documentary. It made me kind of be like, oh man, I kind of want to do that. Like, that sounds kind of cool.
Well, I wouldn't want to experience it.
No, you experience it via documentary where people talk about it.
Yeah, I'll experience it via documentary, but...
And then you'll experience it when the time's right.
Yeah. Because I don't do drugs.
Yeah, that's fine.
I very likely to partake in drugs, but...
So no. Death is going to be very intense for you, it sounds like.
Yes.
Like,
it'll be my first ride.
Yeah. Well, if you watch the documentary, you might be slightly more, I guess, prepared.
Yeah, I'll be prepared. It won't be a surprise.
Right. You're like, I already know what's going to happen.
Cool.
Any other thoughts on the afterlife?
No, other than can't wait. Well, I can wait.
I can't wait to die.
I can wait to see how it'll actually be.
I was actually going to say something very similar. Where, like, not in a pessimistic way, but I'm excited. I'm like, let's go. Let's get it. Let's do it.
Yeah. It's the whole conundrum of well, not, I don't even say conundrum. That's probably the wrong word. But it's the thought process I've always had where I even told my, I've told my mom and my psychiatrist this, where it's like, I'm not suicidal, more because I do have thoughts of dying, but I will never ever go through with it because I wouldn't say scared, but I have told them that I'm scared of dying, but I wouldn't call it scared. I'd call it more, I'm not ready.
Yeah. It's very natural to be afraid of death because nobody knows anything about it.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going to happen. And most people, or even religious people, or religious and non-religious people, right? Religion tells you, oh, this is what's going to happen after you die. But depending on which religion you're in, it's just more fear because you're like, well, what if I didn't do enough? What if I didn't do enough good stuff? I'm going to go away to a really bad place.
Right.
Yeah, and then you're like, all right, well, again, it's fear. Fear is just equivalent to the lack of knowledge.
No, yeah. You fear the unknown.
Yeah, which is why I like the DMT thing. It's grounded in science. And many people tell the same sort of story, like not your support group, but this group of people, the near-deathers.
Right.
Do they have a name?
I would say they do, but I don't recall it. But I want to say they do have a name.
The Near-Death Society of America. You think anybody goes there and lies?
I don't think it's like a meet. Well, they might have meetups, but it's more like a social group. So like a Facebook group or something like that.
Still, do you think anybody goes there and lies?
Maybe.
I mean, probably, right? It's another...
I wouldn't doubt there's a few liars, but honestly, if they all have similar experiences, depending on if the person already knows what it is they would experience, they can go ahead and go along with it, or...
Would you like to infiltrate the group with me?
Maybe.
Well, because I imagine with this reminds me of the conversation we were having about conspiracy theory groups and stuff, where people are just looking for a place to belong, and somebody's like, oh, well, I almost died once because a car almost swerved into me. And you're like, that's not a near-death experience. That you missed an accident.
You just got a flashback.
Right. You thought about stuff because you thought somebody was going to hit you for a second.
Yeah.
You did not almost die. These other people were in comas, I'm sure, or like were bleeding out on the street before they got rescued or something.
Yeah.
Actual...
Like they needed blood transfusions.
Yes. They were probably dead for a couple of seconds.
Their heart stopped for a couple seconds.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I'm gonna find out where they meet. Find out where they're meeting, online, in person, wherever. I think that would be a fun thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
But it also feels dishonest. But I would love... Well, maybe if we're just like really upfront about it, we're like, hey, we do a podcast. We talked about you guys. We want to sit in on a meeting and kind of report back to our audiences about it. And just for general information and whatnot. Not to be like,
and if one of you wants to be on it.
Yeah, not to like make fun of them, but just to get documentary style, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe that's our trajectory. We both like watching documentaries. Maybe this show is just going to evolve into like a documentary series. Where we're just going to...
We're going to pick a fucking topic and...
Unique Noise presents Joel and Sam are lost.
Huh? Yeah.
And we're just like, where do we go? Do you know any of these places around here? Like, what's good? I don't know.
Each state.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Ready to get bold?
I am. And then... read two sections. We can play cards because it's going to be card games. but for right now,
it's both.
it's still both. Yeah. As you can see, I've pre-selected the 2 top cards from the deck and placed them as such. So, who wants to go first, or do you want to race to get the top one? Because it's the better one. One.
You know what? I got the first one last time. I remember that. You can get this one.
I don't know what they are. They were only stacked that way so you could see that there's 2.
Yeah.
And so one of us didn't grab both of them.
All right. I believe I asked, right? I'm the one asking first because it's...
Yes, you're host.
All right. First question is, do you think you are a great partner and why?
I don't want to say what I think. Why do I do that? I always do that, though. Where I'm like, you've handed me on a silver platter a very specific thing that I know I'm great at, but I don't want to say that I'm great at it because it makes me feel gross. I don't like toot my own horn or saying that I'm good at stuff. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to talk about that maybe tomorrow.
There you go.
I do think I'm a great partner, though. I think I rise to whatever level that I'm needed in a relationship, whether that's a friendship or... I mean, I'm much better at it in a romantic relationship than I am with a friendship, because friendship, I'm... Not that I keep score, but I'm like, well, you didn't do... Like, if you're not willing to do it, then I'm not going to meet you there. Like, I'll meet you wherever halfway is for us, but I'm not going to go out of my way for, like, or too far out of my way for you unless there's a reason, like, oh, it's your birthday or something. Like, outside of that stuff, I wouldn't be... Or I guess I'm less willing to do stuff like that. And in a romantic relationship, I do feel like I go out of my way for a lot of stuff. I do my best to take care of people in the best way that I am able to, or to my capabilities. And I think for a lot of men in particular, they have a really hard time admitting that they've done something wrong.
Yep, I'm always right.
Yeah. I don't. Well, I do have a hard time with it, but I always get there. But yeah, I think I'm a good partner, and there's stuff with my current relationship too that I could tack on, but I don't want to get into too much of the personal stuff, but I know you know what that is. And I'm happy that she has me for all of that stuff, because it's rough.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and that's why.
Okay, Joel. What gets in the way of you loving yourself most? And when do you feel most loved?
I feel most loved when I'm asleep, because I'm nice and calm. Wait, what was the first part of the question?
What gets in the way of you loving yourself most?
Oh, what gets in the way of loving myself most? I don't know. I guess the negative thoughts. And I don't have many, but whenever negative thoughts come up, it's like now the second guessing. The second guessing stuff is the obstacle that would get most in the way. And it's kind of like how you were saying before on your progress thing, where you send a message and you expect a reply, and then you start thinking other stuff. Mm-hmm. It's kind of that way for me, where if there's no communication and I hear a tone, like if someone's talking, like, and I hear something's wrong and I don't say anything, but now because I didn't say anything, all this rush of like, I wouldn't even say negativity, but again, the second thoughts
You're
It's
like,
like,
are they mad because
this, or this?
Yeah.
And then I've already waited so long. If I bring it up now, will it do this or this or this or this? But yeah.
It's called rumination.
Yeah. And there was a point in time where I thought of, hey, if we can program this and make it into a game, like a second thought game, where every action splits into other actions, but they all meet at the same end. Kind of to simplify you can think of, if this happens, this will happen, but then this will happen, or this will happen. But it doesn't matter what happens, you still come to the same conclusion.
We should write a TV show.
Yes, I believe I answered your question.
You did.
All right. Your second question is, how do you think you could be a better partner? You're already great. How can you be perfect? Or sorry, not perfect, because there's no such thing as perfect.
There is not. Perfection doesn't exist, but it is a goal. It's something to strive for. I need to be better about reaction time. So receiving news that I'm not thrilled about, yeah, that would have hit me right in the eye. So I guess receiving news that I'm not like stoked about or whatever, and doing my whole process with it, washing it in my head and then drying it and then folding it or hanging it up, because it feels like that sometimes. So it would be nice if somebody told me something that I didn't like and I didn't go straight to the dark places with it. That'd be nice. I think that would make me a better partner. I mean, that and like literally everything I'm doing with therapy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everything that I'm doing with therapy currently is pushing me into that direction, which is great.
Very nice.
I'm the best partner that ever existed, I guess.
I have no issues. Yet.
I mean, we'll see. I get very angry sometimes. And just like, that's how angry I get. Joel, what does love look and feel like to you?
It's an interesting question.
I play the love card in attack position.
God damn it. I have no traps. I guess that's how it would feel like, as a trap.
That's what love looks like or feels like to you, as a trap?
Well, no, it feels like a trap. What it looks like is very inviting. No.
Sounds like you fallen in love with strippers.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
You're like, she's so attractive and she was so inviting, and then she just left after I gave her money. Love isn't real.
I would say love is like a hurricane. Is that a song? I feel like that's a song.
Probably. It's pretty dramatic.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess love is more, I would say warm. It's a warm feeling for sure. Mm-hmm. Makes you happy, very calming. I would say even, because even like relationships or friendships, they'll have their arguments and stuff. But at the end, as long as it gets resolved, it goes back to that neutral, like, oh, this person gets me, or we're good. So we can still keep hanging out and stuff. Or we can, I know I can still reach out to that person, and it's a safe space essentially. So yeah, I would say feels warm. Looks and feels warm.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get love and lust confused.
Yeah.
Where they're like, well, love is pulling up into a motel and just like breaking all the furniture and stuff, and or knocking stuff over to like just to get there, and that's lust. Or horniness, I guess.
Same thing. It's a doozy of a show.
We're so good at this. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. I'm sick. We're making me sick.
Good. That way we can take a sick day and not record.
Hey man, we could
take a break.
We can take breaks whenever you want, man.
We're so far ahead.
We're in a very good spot.
Yeah.
For breaks and things like that. So you let me know.
I will.
Put in a time off request. Make sure you submit it, at least 2 weeks in advance, just so I can make sure we can afford to give you the time off.
Got it.
2 weeks in advance.
I'll make sure to put in the request
last week. No, but for real, like if you get up on a Tuesday and you're like, I don't want to do this, we have time.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we think of the quote? Do we want to say one or the other or both at the same time, or?
Yeah, let's talk over each other at the same time. I think that'll come out good.
Nice.
Well, but no. I mean, this does echo kind of what we were talking about earlier in the episode. Yeah, I believe that death is not the end as well. I know some of the other quotes that I was looking at were atheist quotes, which were just like, when you're dead, there's nothing. Which I didn't feel like was an appropriate quote for us for this one. I guess calling it the spirit realm is one way of saying it. Religious people would call it something else. Scientists call it something else. Atheists call it nothing because it doesn't exist. Fucking cynical. I mean, I'm pretty cynical, but I'm not an atheist. But yeah, I think the whole I'm subscribing to the DMT thing where you're essentially just shedding your body of physical matter, and that energy is being propelled somewhere else. I do also have a very crazy theory about brains in general, where, okay, buckle up, hold on, and stick with me here for a second, because it's weird. Well, it's not that weird.
The garage door is closed.
Yeah. So the concept is that the universe exists within your brain. And you can effectively change things in the universe by thought. So in like a literal sense, like your brain and my brain are made or house the universe in them. So it's theoretically you and I can connect kind of like telepathically, but not telepathically. Because it is, I do think it's still based in some sort of spirituality. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking out of my ass. It's the same
You're talking out of your brain.
Yeah. It's the same kind of concept where at a religious gathering or a concert, when everyone's tuned into one thing, you feel connected to the people around you. Not just because you're standing there, but because you're all
experiencing the same thing.
Yeah. So, and I've had experiences like that where I'm up at random ass hours, and I send a text message to somebody who's thinking about me in that moment. That, like that sort of things where it feels a little, I don't know, serendipitous almost. And I think that has something to do with it. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a religious expert. And I don't know if that's real or not. But it sounds cool.
Sounds very cool.
So I'm going to go with that.
It is.
Has nothing to do with the afterlife. Well, sort of.
The galaxy is on Orion's belt.
Kind of makes me want to watch that movie again. What do you think about the quote?
Well, I just think that this time around, I agree with it. Death is not the end. It's just the end of a chapter in your life. And your life continues on after death, whether it be in said spirit realm or you're just floating around like a ghost, watching over everyone else, giving them the chills when something's about to go wrong.
I'm kind of down for both. Or, I mean, either.
Give someone the sixth sense. And they too can see dead people.
Would you want to be a ghost?
I would.
I could see that happening. For me too. Like,
I'd be fine either way, like you said, but it would be interesting to be a ghost.
We'd be living out our time travel question.
Yeah.
Where it's like no one can see or talk to you or interact with you, and you just get to watch and experience.
Floating through time.
Yeah. You can go wherever you want. You just can't. Well,
can't go back.
You can't go back. You can't eat or drink anything, which I'm fine with. Eating for me is a chore. So, I'm like, if I don't feel hungry, then I'm okay with it. If I'm constantly hungry forever for all of time, I'm gonna look up some ways to try to kill myself. I think as a ghost.
You'd have to freeze yourself.
Can you freeze something that is not matter?
You can freeze the air, no?
It's not matter. You're not matter as a ghost, though. You're floating energy. You can't freeze energy.
You can slow it down.
I guess so, but that would just be worse. Now I would be looking into like electrical fields and stuff.
I'd be looking at Ghostbusters.
Yeah. They're just gonna put you in a trap. That's not great. You still exist in the trap. Now you're stuck. They don't kill you. Yeah, see?
You're right.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta start fucking around with go to power plants.
No. If I learned anything from Casper, it's this: we should not be able to get hungry, and if we do eat, it just goes straight through us.
I mean, death in the afterlife. Casper is actually, good job.
Yeah.
Good connection. Man, we could just do a show where we read quotes and talk about them. That'd be good. But until we start doing that, I'm going to say goodbye.
Yep, and farewell.
Uh...
Chew.